Good afternoon on day 130. It's a little windy out here back on trail. So yesterday and today in town went nothing like I expected in the best way possible. So I think I mentioned my plan had been to hitch into a little town called Elliston. There's a little country store there. I had shoes there. And then would have probably stayed in Elliston last night. I'd read that the business owners are friendly to hikers and let them camp there and stuff like that. So that was kind of the plan. But right as we got to the highway, OT and I met a family who offered to give us a ride to Elliston, so that's awesome. They were out doing some huckleberry picking, and so we beat them back to the highway, and we were just gonna wait for them. And by the time they meet us at the highway, they say, "Yeah, we'll take you to Elliston to get your shoes, but also if you want, you can just come home with us, stay with us tonight." That turned out to be such a wonderful experience. And then the timing of it was incredible because we're like, "Oh yeah, I mean, that sounds great, thank you." And then the second we get in the car, the most torrential downpour I have yet seen on this trail begins. I mean, it is raining so hard. We would have been two very drowned, sad, wet little hikers on the side of the road trying to catch a ride in a downpour. And then it proceeded to storm much of the night. So had we ended up camping outside, it would have been a rough night. And but even without the weather, spending time with them was just such a blessing. I don't know, for me, they're the type of people that, like, of course I just met, they're total strangers, but I feel like I've known them a lot longer. Like, oh, of course, it's these guys, this is where I'm supposed to be. And so that was really, really neat. So huge shout out and thank you to Jeremy and Adele, and also Carol and Les for their just hospitality, amazing humanness, and for all the amazing food they fed us in the past day. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and you make the trail experience what it is. In case you're wondering about the new shoes, I switched back to the Saucony Mad River, which is what I hiked in most of the trail. And so far today, they feel pretty good. These are actually a men's size 7 because they make men's shoes wider. And then I also got, I'll show you here, new insoles. These are the Trailblazer, they're the Superfeet brand and then the Trailblazer model. I've been wearing these since Salida in Colorado, and I really like them. And the pair that I had before this lasted until, like, from Salida to here. So everything is new and should last me to the end. Good morning on day 131. It didn't rain yesterday or last night. Everything is dry. Pretty gorgeous scenery wise. A little hazy, but not as bad as it was before. So we're a couple miles out from Stimple Pass. And apparently, once we get there. There is a gear shop that is there. I don't think there's much else there other than a trailhead, but magically there's a gear shop right off trail. So that was kind of the destination plan for today. And we're only a couple miles out, so I guess I'm excited to see what this gear shop anomaly is. Well, the stories are true. In this surprising little building here, right off of Stemple Pass, is a pretty impressive collection of backpacking gear. Good morning on day 132. It's cold. There was a teeny tiny bit of frost on the ground this morning, so burr. The moon has been very bright the last few nights. So from where we camped last night, I believe it was around 24 miles till we hit some highway, and we'll hitch into Lincoln. Ever since hitting Montana, the towns have really been pretty close together, which has been nice. It means you don't have to carry too much food. Yeah, there's really only, I'll have another little short town hop after Lincoln, and then I have a longer carry through the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and then I'm in Glacier. Some other highway, not the one we're hitching in on. Nope, next thing for me is a big old climb. Top of another climb. I think I've got a few more of these today. It's really pretty today and clearer than it has been. So you can see more mountains off in the distance. Somewhere out there, I mean, I can't quite probably see it yet, but Canada. Today's really beautiful. Lots of clear, open views like this today. Well, it's all downhill from here. All the way downhill to that highway down there, I mean, where I will probably hitch into town, hopefully hitch into town, get some dinner. In general, probably some more uphill in my future. Well, made it to the highway. Just gotta see about getting a ride. Now, wouldn't you pick this guy up? Ride secured. Made it into town pretty quickly, actually, and then walked straight up to the first hotel, and they let us set up in the back in this beautiful area. And yeah, next stop's probably going to be like food, but so far it's a good night in Lincoln. So Lincoln's a cute little, mostly one street town. That's probably their one stoplight-ish. And that's most of it right there. I'm gonna go hit that grocery store one more time before it closes, in case I have any midnight snacking needs. Call it a night. Good morning on day 132. This is possibly the biggest skillet I've yet gotten on trail. Well, back on trail. It's the road right now, but it'll be trail really soon. After an incredibly successful hitch back to the trailhead here, it's another one of those times where I like walk into the spot where I'm gonna hitch and someone just calls out and says, "You hiking the CDT? Do you need a ride?" Drove completely out of his way to take us up here. really, really cool. Absolutely amazing. Everyone that I spoke to in Lincoln was so incredibly kind. And that happens all over the trail, obviously, but yeah, had a lot of kindness in the past several days, truthfully, so it's been really, really nice. I believe we've got quite a bit of a climb coming up next, so woohoo! Not really. Yeah, I think that's one climb done. I think only a few more 1,000 feet of gain today. Whew. Top of another climb. It's unfortunately starting to look a little hazy again. So a lot of times I just show you the top of the mountain when I get there, but you should know that even after all this time climbing a steep hill, I still pant and sniffle and snort and sweat and get all red-faced. Mountains are still hard. And after much sweating and red-faced walking, this is the top of Red Mountain. Why so steep? Why? Phew, man, there's a lot of climbing today. I'm around a net gain of like 2,300 since I left Rogers Pass, but I've climbed more than that because every time I go up, I go back down. Whew. See? Down, down, and then I'm going up, up, up again. Well, today was an exceptionally difficult day in terms of elevation gain. Probably haven't had a day like that hard, like that much gain and that steep since Colorado. And although while I was walking uphill, like I was just like moaning and groaning and cursing. Because like I said, it's still hard for me at least. But then I'd finish a climb and I was always amazed at how much juice I had left. Like my legs were like, all right, fine. Like, let's just keep rolling. And so I started thinking about how like towards the end of a through hike, in one specific way, you really are quite a superior athlete. You can put on a pack and walk really far. And it's neat to feel that strong, to feel just like a little bit superhuman, because normal, like I was trying to decide how like to phrase this earlier. Moderately fit me, which is me most of the time. I'm not a super couch potato, but I'm also not like a super athlete. I'm just kind of an averagely fit person. And I could not do this. I would have surrendered 10 miles ago easily. But through hiker me can, and then of course everybody around me can too. And so it's kind of neat to be in this pack of super, like I feel like we're a little bit superhuman in this one specific way. And obviously there are other athletes that could accomplish this as well, but I don't know, it's a neat feeling. It's just neat to feel how much stronger I am now as opposed to a few months ago. Yeah, I feel like I have worked hard for it, but it's still neat. Good morning on day 134. Tell you what, old timer's a sweetheart. I left. I made bagels with cream cheese that I had intended to bring with me, and I accidentally left them in town. An OT this morning gave me a bagel with cream cheese. He'd bought the same stuff, and so I'm really grateful for my bagel. They're more sound music views. It's just really pretty mountains in every direction. And now valley walking, I think, for pretty much the rest of the day. It's been a pretty dry section with lots of water carries, so this is a nice sight. This guy was just doing some very beautiful, is it called pronking when they like jump all 4 feet at the same time? I might have made that word up. I'm not really sure. But I guess he's not scared of me anymore. There he goes. Well, one little hop. Little ground squirrel hiding behind the fireweed here. And I'm there we go. Oh, bye. He's too quick for me. There he is. I didn't start seeing these guys until recently. And I definitely associate them with like more northern latitudes. Because I've traveled to Alaska, and that was the first time I'd ever seen like little squirrels like this. All that talk about ground squirrels, in part just because I think they're cute, but also to say I'm far north, because at least in my mind that's where the ground squirrels live. Getting close to Canada. Good morning on day 135. I made a good friend. About to start walking, probably just a couple miles outside of Benchmark, either Trailhead or Wilderness Ranch. It's kind of the access point to get to Augusta. It's a decent ride down a dirt road, but if you don't get off here, then the section between Lincoln and East Glacier is really quite long. And so this is the last little short town hop I do, and then it'll be I'm planning for about 5 days through the Bob Marshall Wilderness. We have reached the Bob. Made it to Augusta. Had a delicious breakfast. Chasing that with a milkshake. It's a little chilly and it's looking like it's gonna rain, so it's always a good time to be in town. Well, it's been a nice town day in Augusta. Lots of eating. I'm clean and showered, and just hanging out and resting. Split an Airbnb with some other hikers. And yeah, plan is to head out tomorrow, and then it'll be about 5 days through the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and then I'll be in East Glacier for the very last section of this trail, which is crazy. Like I mentioned before, I'm really excited to finish, but I don't know, the thought that I'm that close is actually a little overwhelming. So just gonna keep doing what I know how to do, which is one foot in front of the other, and just keep going. I said goodbye to Old Timer this morning. We've had a really fun time hiking together, but he had a box at the Benchmark Wilderness Ranch, so he was able to pick that up and then just keep hiking, whereas I needed to come into town to resupply. So yeah, he's been a fun hiking partner to have. I wish him the best. He'll probably be about a day ahead of me, but I think we're both gonna get there. So I'll have some other people hiking around for this section, and that should be fun too. Excited to get to the end. Take on the Bob.